Welcome to the show Gold Squadron Gays. It's the podcast where two Star Wars loving gays talk about and review their favorite Star Wars content while also being gay as hell. I'm your host, Bradley Brower.
I'm your other host, Charles Rogers. Rada is jacked, and apparently Sigourney Weaver's character's name is Ward. That's
Ward.
the information. Ward. Last name Ward.
Okay. She's like what was her rank again?
Colonel, I forget. Yeah, she's like a colonel, I think.
Colonel Ward. Okay, that sounds right.
I don't know.
That
The
sounds
Empire
normal.
the Empire magazine stories are coming out, and they're all just fluff pieces at this point. I'm waiting to read the big article. It's all building up to the big article. But yeah, there's nothing in there that I thought was particularly worth talking about with regards to the Mandalorian and Grogu. It's coming. Yeah. They're doing marketing. See, they're marketing it.
It's happening.
2 months out.
It's coming slowly but surely. We're inching closer and closer to release day. So that's all that matters, you know.
Yeah, this movie, I'm growing more interested the more I learn.
What's nice about working so much is that I forget it exists until I don't forget it exists. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll get a little reminder here and there on my TikTok once in a while, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. The Mandalorian Grogu movie, we're only a few more days away. Oh, we're only a few more days away. Oh, we're only like, it's getting closer and closer because I do forget about it after a while. But that's because I'm so busy. But that, you know what? That's the general public is also like that. So what's nice is that they are still once in a while, you're going to get a TV spot or you're going to get a thing. Like I was in the hotel the other day and with my show, and literally on the screen was the Mandalorian and Grogu teaser trailer. And I was like, during a football game or something. And I was like, oh, that's right. That movie's coming out. Oh my God, I can't wait. And the people around me were discussing. They were like, oh yeah, that thing's coming out. Da, 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 da. I'm like, so the general audience is going to be excited for this movie. I mean, I think they are.
Yeah, because there's a Grogu. And he's doing things, and it looks like big action sequences. And there's a Buff Hutt, which is funny because he's being voiced by the guy from The Bear, which is funny.
Genius.
So, I mean, from the sense that I've gathered, general audiences are basically, yeah, we'll probably go see this. So,
oh yeah, I mean,
I'm not super worried. It's a Star Wars. Your mom knows who Grogu is.
I think it's like an easy bill. Like, I feel like it has to be, right? Like, if it's not even, the thing is, it's not a sequel, but it has what we would call legacy characters because it's already an established property that exists in another form. So the TV show, it's not a sequel, but it has the backing of a sequel, if that makes sense. Like, and
it's
a franchise.
Not more TV show.
Right.
It's something else that you can take your mom to, and you don't have to explain the complex politics of Mandalore to her. She knows Baby Yoda, and she knows Pedro Pascal.
Right.
And that's about all you need to go into this. And I'm sure there will be, we know Zeb's going to be in it. Apparently they teased like, oh, there's this warlord. He's going to have fans will be really interested in his name. I'm calling it's going to be Zinj.
But they're going to care?
Zinja.
Like, why are they going to care?
Legends fans will care.
Oh, okay. That's what he means. He needs to specify Legends fans when he says stuff like that, because regular fans don't give a fuck about Legends.
That's what I'm calling.
I'm sorry.
He says that I'm calling it now. I think it's going to be Zinja is going to be this guy's name.
Okay.
Because he was one of the big warlords. So we'll see what they actually do with him. I don't know. We should talk about other Star Wars that's not the Mandalorian and Grogu. The fucking marketing's continuing. That's my point. Get used to seeing that little bastard. You're going to see him so fucking much.
This week, we're talking about Star Wars Resistance Season 1, Episode 10, Secrets and Holograms. While Captain Doza meets with the First Order, Tora, Kaz, and BB-8 sneak around on their own secret mission. Charles, what's one thing you liked about the episode and one thing you did not?
I thought the episode was really tightly written. I thought that they didn't have a lot of extraneous, like, bullshit off to the side. There was no B-plot. It was just, they were very clear about the intentionalities of the characters. I thought they had really good character change throughout the thing. I was talking to someone last night about writing in general and was talking about the importance of change in a narrative beat and how things should be one way at the start and have changed by the end of it. And this was a great example of that because a lot of the status quo has changed by the end of this episode. Some in subtle ways, some in not subtle ways. The another thing I liked was a lot of the background world building. So we learn a lot about how the meta plot is moving just by characters talking about it. So they don't need to waste time like showing us things when it's easy to just tell us things. One thing I disliked about this episode, there are some moments that really rely on coincidence and contrivance. There are some moments, none of it was too egregious, like none of it took me out of the episode, but like, oh, the Vorpack is pissed on the floor just in time to let Tora escape. Great. Okay. Jace just happens to be around the corner so that we can have the dramatic tension. Like there were a few moments where I was like, okay, it just relies on characters being in the right place at the right time. There were a couple of moments like that. But other than that, I thought this was a really, really solid episode. What about you, Bradley? One thing you liked and one thing you did not.
Yeah, maybe that's the way I'll explain like what I didn't like. What I was originally going to say was that I felt the episode was too simplified. Like I thought maybe it was just like there wasn't really a true I felt like plot. I don't know. I felt like it just kind of like we just needed Kaz to get minor information and it somehow blew up into this like weird walking around Doza Tower. Like I don't know if it was like a real plot or not. It just didn't feel like a very complete story. And maybe that's because there wasn't a B story. Maybe it was because it was a true like this is all it is, just this one tiny, A plot. So maybe that was what I didn't really like. But what I did like was actually I like all the characters like and what they needed to do in this episode. Like I really like Tora. I'm a Tora lover, but I'm a Puggles hater. I don't know why. I don't like that Puggles.
Buggles.
What is it?
Buggles.
Buggles, whatever.
Buggles the Vorpack.
Yeah. See, I just something about him, I or her, I don't like them.
Buggles is a him.
Him, okay, I don't like him.
Per the dialogue, Buggles is a him.
But maybe that's because I like this the nanny droid or whatever the droid's name is because I like her design and I don't know, I feel bad for her that she has to clean up uh Puggles' shit all the time. Although my one complaint about that too is that why would a droid care? Because the droid is a droid. Like the droid is also a Puggles hater, so I don't so I don't know. Anyway, nothing's too
Buggles
egregious.
with a B.
But Buggles, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep messing that up. But yeah, I think just in general, I just didn't love the episode in that regard. Just because there was just certain things that I was just kind of like that's kind of boring of an episode. But because maybe there was no real stakes other than him hiding in the closet, which we'll get to the symbolism there. But yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting episode. We'll see. Section 1. Tora Doza plays a simulator game in her room in Doza Tower, bored out of her mind. She goes to speak with her father, complaining that she spends all of her time alone in her room, and Doza explains that the situation around the Colossus has become dangerous and warns that the First Order is a far greater threat than the pirates that she has fought before. Tora asks to go to the marketplace for some fresh air, but Doza refuses and insists she stays inside the tower until the First Order leaves, promising a hover cruise later. As she leaves, he orders his droid to watch her and keep her away from the First Order. Afterward, Doza secretly contacts Pyre, who tells him that the First Order forces will arrive within the hour. 4D confines Tora to her room and insists the other aces will cover her patrol while the First Order is present. After 4D leaves to take Buggles out, Tora cracks the passcode lock and sneaks into the corridor. When 4D tries to stop her, Buggles distracts the droid by urinating on the floor, allowing Tora to slip away.
So from Bucket's List, Extra, the StarWars.com is what they call their trivia guide for this show. Quote, the Flight Simulator Squadron game that Tora and Kaz play is a cross between Asteroids and Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay.
The Space Slug surprise thrown in for good measure. In the earliest premise for the episode, the game involved, quote, navigating an Ewok through lasers fired by stormtroopers, end quote, doubly.
I'm glad they changed it.
Yes.
That would have been a little, for me, that would have been a little
Be
too
a little
heavy-handed.
dark.
Well, dark,
Yeah.
but also heavy-handed on the reference. You know what I mean? Like, hey, remember the third movie exists? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, all right.
It's very so there's this moment in Star Wars. People tend to forget this, but there's this moment in Star Wars where nobody fucking liked the Ewoks.
Right.
And like kids liked the Ewoks, which is why they kept making Ewok shit. They made the movies,
Hmm.
We talked about the movies. I subjected Bradley to those, even though one of them was kind of weirdly good. But we have
Right.
not yet watched the cartoon, but the
We haven't
cartoon
watched
also
cartoon, right?
exists. They were the big like this is the Star Wars bit for kids, so we're gonna throw Ewoks in it. And the reaction of a lot of adult fans was this is kiddie shit, fuck these teddy bears. And
Right.
so there's this moment where Star Wars kind of tried to get in on the joke. The worst offender by far was Empire at War Forces of Corruption that featured Ewok suicide bombers. Yeah.
Okay.
So so that was a bad idea, and they shouldn't
No,
have done
really?
that in 2011 or
Oof.
whenever that came out.
Oof.
Bad fucking idea
Yeah,
to try
definitely.
to be edgy, but there's this moment where every single one of the four kids things gets it. And the idea of Ewoks navigating through lasers fired by stormtroopers does feel kind of like that to me. It's we're
Yeah.
trying to get in on the joke.
Yeah, I don't like that. Plus, also, it just feels icky. Like it's like, why are these
I
stormtroopers
don't
trying to
like when
murder
Star
teddy
Wars
bears
does
and
this.
stuff? Like it's weird. Like
Now,
it's just a strange concept.
Now, there's moments where they subvert this, and it's really good. There's a character in the Old Republic named Teak that was a character
Hmm.
that you could get any character could get. So if you rolled up a character in the Old Republic, I don't recommend you do this. But if you rolled up a character in the Old Republic, you could get this because she was like DLC. And her whole shtick was she was an Ewok who wanted to leave, and she was really aggressive and violent. That was a pretty good character. Like her
Okay.
writing was pretty good. And it wasn't that like we're going to make Ewoks the butt of the joke. It's this is an Ewok who has a different personality than what we're used to, and we're highlighting that Ewoks are different people, like different characters, and we could do interesting stuff with them. I liked her,
I
but
see. I like that idea. Like, I feel like I want to
she's a
see a
really good
more
character,
I want
actually.
to see a more modern take on Ewoks, like in current media. I would love to see like maybe we have like some kind of smuggler character or a pilot or something like that who has a mechanic Ewok partner. You know what I mean? Like just like someone who's like
Yeah, that
there,
was
like a
her shtick.
sidekick.
Is she left? Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I wish that we saw more Ewoks out in the galaxy.
Yeah. I want to see
Because
more of that.
we would get the occasional one in Legends. There was the whole running joke in Wraith Squadron about the Ewok pilot that I absolutely will not spoil the ending for because
Yeah.
there are unabridged audiobooks for the Wraith Squadron books. You can read them, they're good. But there was a whole running joke with an Ewok pilot that had an incredible payoff. So Legends did this a couple of times where they were like Ewoks out in the galaxy, but canon hasn't really done that, which is a
No.
shame. We are introduced to Tora's pet, Buggles. Buggles, Bradley's op, Bradley's
Yeah.
new mortal enemy.
My mortal enemy, the Buggle.
We had previously seen Buggles, I think.
Probably in the first or second episode, right?
Let
Or
me
wherever.
check this. This is the thing Charles didn't research. Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah, no, I think
Charles
we
is
saw.
researching Star Wars. Big
Did,
fucking
did we
surprise.
see Buggles in the
No, this is
background?
Buggles.
Oh.
No, this is Buggles' first appearance.
Oh, okay. But has
This is
Buggles
Buggles'
the
first
species
appearance.
appeared before?
Yes, and we're about to get to that.
Okay.
Buggles is a Vorpak. In canon, Vorpaks first appeared in the 2015 video game Disney Infinity 3.0. So they slightly predated this show.
Interesting.
This is really the only show that, like, visual media thing that Vorpax had appeared in, except they appeared in one episode of The Bad Batch. And I remember because I told you to
Oh.
keep an eye on that episode. It is the episode in which we meet Fennec Shand for the first time.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I got really excited. I don't know if you remember, I got really excited about that little dog thing
Yeah.
that steals something. I don't remember.
Right. I don't know, remember the plot, but
I don't
yeah,
remember the
yeah,
plot of the episode, but there's that little dog thing. That's a Vorpak.
yeah. Okay.
So they showed up pretty much looking exactly the same in the Bad Batch. They will appear in a couple of episodes of this. They really just get a bunch of mentions. They're mentioned in Into the Dark. They're mentioned in Jedi Survivor. One of them, the fur of a Vorpak, shows up in Solo Star Wars Story. But Vorpaks actually originated in Legends. They originated in the 2001 magazine Star Wars Gamer 4. And they appeared a couple of times in actual narrative. They got a mention in an Old Republic expansion, a couple of kids' books. They got a mention in the other Star Wars MMO, Star Wars Galaxies. And then they did appear in Fate of the Jedi Omen,
Hmm.
which was one of the more, in my opinion, forgettable of the Fate of the Jedi books because I literally don't remember what the plot was outside of it is Fate of the Jedi. I don't remember and I don't care to look it up. But we have seen Vorpaks before. So this is a Vorpak. You're just gonna have to get used to it.
I think it's just because I think I'm a Tuca Cat stan. And so I think I go from like this is basically the dog version, I guess I want to say. Like and it just like I feel like Tuca Cats are just that is they're perfect
Well,
design.
yes, Tuca cats are obviously superior to all other
Right.
Star Wars
There's
pets.
nothing better
There
than
is
that.
no, yeah, there is
Yeah.
no. I will say, I tabbed over to check and see if I'd missed anything, and I had. According to the buckets list, StarWars.com trivia guide, quote, Buggles is based on a design developed by Terrell Whitlatch, a concept artist on Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. She illustrated a creature called a Vorpak, an eight-legged furball pet favored by Naboo aristocracy. Buggles may be a designer breed as he is six-legged, not eight, end quote.
So he's like the Chihuahua
He's
version.
like the
Or
fucking
Pomeranian or
Chihuahua.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
he's like
little
a
fucking Pomeranian.
yeah,
I go on walks in the afternoons. I walk around my neighborhood,
sure.
and there are some people that walk their dogs, and they're the tiny little
Yeah, your little
Chihuahuas that I
designer
could
dog.
literally wrap my hands around the dog like they are that small. But if I did wrap my hands around the dog, they would rip my hands off of my body. Chihuahuas
I
are vicious little motherfuckers.
so this is yeah, I guess this is just the equivalent of a dog in in our show. Like I don't know, because I don't know what else to compare it to because it's not like a rabbit, even though it
Yeah,
kind of looks like
it's like a
one.
little dog. Buggles effectively serves the role of a dog.
A dog, which but he's replacing a droid sidekick, if you will, for Tora, which I thought was
Yes.
interesting.
I do like that Kaz has a droid sidekick in BB-8 and Tora has a organic sidekick in
Organic
Buggles.
sidekick, right? Which I prefer. So in Star Wars media, I feel like it's either or, right? You have either the droid sidekick or the what we'll call the organic sidekick, which is a
Yes.
pet of some kind.
So look, if you look at the two big narrative-driven video games, which is Jedi Survivor and
Right,
Star Wars Outlaws, Jedi Fallen Order / Survivor, you have BD-1, who is a droid.
right.
And then you have in Star Wars Outlaws, you have Nyx, who
Which I
is
like
a
that creature better.
shiny little frog thing.
It's like a furry axolotl looking motherfucker.
Yeah, Nyx is
Like,
great. I love Nyx. Nyx is fantastic. We got to move on. So Tora wanders into her dad's office, and they have this conversation where Tora knows the First Order is coming. Like this is not a secret to her
right.
because her dad trusts her with stuff, but she does not understand why the First Order is so scary. Why her dad like does not want her even to leave her room while they're on the
Hmm.
station. It's interesting. There was a discussion on a character that appears in the Battlefront 2 DLC. And I remember someone talking about how the interesting thing with that character is that she grew up in a peacetime era. She was born after the Empire fell and significantly after the Empire fell. So she doesn't understand the threat that the Empire poses,
Ah,
as opposed to someone like Doza, who was involved in the Galactic Civil War and does understand. So we see this
right.
conflict between the two, which I found that interesting to think about with regards to that character. 4D M1N we are introduced to, voiced by Mary Elizabeth McGlenn, who also voices Freya. 4D M1N's name from the buckets list trivia guide, quote, is based on the leet alphanumeric spelling of admin, end quote.
Oh, okay. That makes sense because she's like the main droid, like or the right hand of Doza, basically. Like,
Yes, so she's an admin droid. Her name
right.
is Admin.
I love that.
Fucking Star Wars names. We
Yeah.
also see more of Tora's toys that she has. So I
Hmm.
just wrote down the ones that I recognized. On the wall, there's a Max Rebo,
Okay.
the Bosch Bounty Hunter Leia outfit.
Loves.
There's a Stormtrooper and the Skyhopper toy on the wall.
Okay. Section 2. Kaz and BB-8 search the Colossus for a way into Doza Tower to find evidence connecting Doza to the First Order, but they run into Tora, who pulls Kaz away to hang out instead. In the marketplace, Tora explains that Doza wants her confined to her room while he meets with the First Order. She assumes the group is connected to the recent pirate attacks and believes they claim to be helping clean up the sector. While browsing stalls, Tora is recognized, and she is confronted by patrons who ask her questions about pirate attacks, canceled races, and rumors of a curfew. Kaz steps in to defend her and quickly leads Tora and BB-8 away from the market. On the deck of the Colossus station, Kaz suggests returning to Doza Tower before the First Order arrives, but Tora points out that they are too late as a command shuttle descends towards the tower. Tora explains that if Doza signs an agreement, the First Order will patrol the platform to stop the pirate attacks, though she complains it will limit her flying to playing Flight Simulator Squadron. Kaz gets excited when she mentions the game, and then she invites him to the Ace Lounge to play. Kaz quietly tells BB-8 that this invitation will help them get inside the tower. Meanwhile, at the tower, Pyre meets with Doza and pressures him to accept the First Order protection, saying stormtroopers will defend the station better than the Aces, but refusing to promise when the troops would leave once the pirate threat ends.
So Kaz is not as slick as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
And we'll find out that he's not as slick as he thinks he is, because he thinks he's pulling one over on Tora when he's like, so what's the First Order doing?
Right.
What's all that about? But I do like that he's not the only one asking that question, because Tora gets immediately mobbed when she leaves the tower.
Right. Well, she's basically a celebrity. And so if she were to go out in public like that, well, not even just a celebrity, she is basically the mayor's daughter, if you will. Like if in this context, she's that level of recognizable. So people are like instantly like, yo, what's going on? Like there's clearly some shit happening that we don't know about. And if the lifeblood of the Colossus is races and Doza is canceling races because the First Order is coming and like all these pirate attacks are happening, people are like, oh fuck. Like,
People are going to notice.
yeah,
People notice when politics affect them personally.
right.
Nobody was asking questions prior to this. But now that races are canceled and there might be a curfew, suddenly everybody wants to ask questions. And
Right.
Doza does not want to answer those questions. And so they're mobbing Tora because she's out and about. And I also think it's notable that the Aces remain we don't see that they're confined in the way that Tora is, but they're not leaving the tower.
Right.
They don't
Well,
even know what's
yeah.
going on. Tora
Yeah.
won't, or Doza won't tell them what's happening. I will say this much for Cass, at least. He is getting quite good at manipulating people to do what he wants.
Right.
I don't think it's malicious. It's part of his job as a spy, but he is pretty good at channeling it into getting what he wants. Because I think part of it is that he's good at this game. He wants to play this game, but he also knows this is his way into the tower.
Right. He's good at finding an excuse for the spying or something like that to correlate to what things that he wants to do anyway. So he's always like, "Oh, I do need to go spy on Doza, but also I get the benefit of playing video games like that I really want to play. Like, oh wait, this is like a win-win for me right now."
Yeah, no, he sees a way in and he's like, I'm going to take that way in, because he knows Tora will let him into the tower because she's done it before. This is not the first time
Right.
that
He's been
or
up
no, Hype let him in before.
Hype let him in the
but he
first
knows
time.
Tora will do it
Right.
because she helped him escape the first time.
Yes.
And they are, at this point, friends. We'll see if that lasts by the end of the episode. But he has 10 episodes into the show, he is starting to get much better at spying and getting himself to where he needs to be. My note with regards to the Doza and First Order scene, it's pretty short, but I do find it very interesting that Doza knows what the First Order's game is.
Right.
Because he asks, like, okay, so when the pirate attacks end, are you gonna leave?
Yeah, what's the end date?
And Pyre knows that Doza knows, because his response is, well, I mean, pirate attacks can take a while
Yeah,
to
who knows
stabilize.
when we could be done?
Who knows
Like,
when we're going to leave the station?
these things just like are unpredictable. Like it's
There's a lot happening between these two characters that's not explicitly stated, but still pretty clear.
Yeah.
That Doza's like, I know what's going on. I don't know if he knows the connection between the First Order and the pirates, but he knows that the First Order has absolutely no plans to leave once he invites them in.
Yeah, it seems to be that like he doesn't realize the connection between the two, but he does realize the First Order is manipulative in its only self-interest. It doesn't care. The First Order does not care about Doza or the Colossus in that it cares about its citizens or him or whatever. Like he knows that the First Order is self-serving, but he obviously doesn't know that they are even one step further manipulating the situation with the pirates and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
he's based on what we will learn in this episode later, he also knows how ops work
right.
and he knows how infiltrations work. He's got the training. He has read the playbook. So he knows what's going on here.
Yeah.
And he's kind of powerless to stop it. And we see a lot of the tension in this episode with him is the fact that he does not have any way to stop this. So he's trying to minimize the impact to his daughter. He's trying to do this the best way that he can, and it's not something he's able to really manage. And that's some interesting dramatic irony to his character that he fully knows what's going on, but he can't stop it.
Right. Section 3. Tora and Kaz sneak back into Doza Tower. They enter the Ace Lounge where the pilots are hanging out. A bartender, who turns out to be Jace Rucklin, notices Kaz and angrily confronts him, explaining he has to work the job to afford a new racer after the one Kaz destroyed, and vows to get revenge before rushing off to serve hype bays on his drinks. Tora and Kaz leave the Ace Lounge and head towards Tora's room, but they spot Doza meeting with Pyre, who promises the First Order will secure the platform and destroy the pirates if Doza signs their agreement. Tora guides Kaz to her room, and she reflects on loneliness and how being an ace isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Kaz sympathizes and jokes about beating her in the simulator, which Tora eagerly anticipates. Tora and Kaz play the flight simulator game together, but they are interrupted by 4D, prompting Tora to tell Kaz to hide. As 4D enters, BB-8 triggers her intruder mode, but Tora deactivates the protocol. 4D warns about possible droid spies and BB-8's presence, while Kaz uses the distraction to sneak out. Kaz and BB-8 navigate past security droids towards Doza's office, and BB-8 manages to open the door long enough for Kaz to enter, though a passing Jace notices them.
Oh no, it's Kazuda's shitty ex-boyfriend. Do you ever have this happen to you where you go to like a bar with some friends and then your
hmm
shitty ex is there, your shitty ex situationship?
This is worse because your shitty ex is now working at the bar.
Yes, your shitty ex now has to get a second job as a waiter
Right.
to pay for the racer he blew up, but blames you for.
Which is so fucked up because the fact that he's still blaming Kaz for what he did pisses me off because at the end of the day, Kaz really did nothing here because all he did was give you the opportunity to steal the hyperfuel and destroy your own ship. Like Kaz didn't do anything to make the ship blow up. You did. So it's just like I don't know how he can blame Kaz for anything in this situation.
Because nothing is ever Jace's fault.
Well,
He is a
egotistical.
toxic gay man.
Yeah,
Nothing else is ever his fault.
of course.
He will tell an entire 15-minute story and not realize he's the villain of that story. Like he sucks
Right.
super hard and will never ever ever take accountability for anything he has ever done ever in his life. This is all Kaz's fault. This is definitely not Rucklin's fault. And now Rucklin's life is ruined because Kaz is a piece of shit to him.
Right.
Because obviously it can't be that Jace was an idiot. No, no, no. No, that would require him to take accountability. We can't have that. Uh-uh.
I'm surprised that this isn't the job that Kaz would try to get because I feel like this is like his dream job to be this close to the
He
aces and stuff.
needs he needs more versatility on the station.
I know,
He needs
but
to
I'm
be able to
saying like,
move
yeah,
around the station. And the problem he kind of needs Year as a support system
true.
early on. So it makes sense kind of, and it's like, well, why doesn't he just get this as a second job? Well, because he needs time to move around the station.
Right.
We haven't seen Jace except for very briefly in the background of Sonara's score since Fuel for the Fire. Because that motherfucker's been up here working.
Right. Which makes sense because like that's why he didn't appear. He was in the tower. I
Right.
get it.
4D is just super prejudiced toward ball droids for no reason.
Which I thought was really strange.
Okay.
She was like, "Damn, these little fucking ball droids.
You can't
can
trust
never
those little
trust
ball
those."
droids.
Like,
Okay,
fuck,
4D.
yeah. God damn.
Okay, sure.
You know what? She's a very
Droid on
elitist
droid
droid.
prejudice.
So
She's
she's
very
like,
elitist, yes.
yeah,
She doesn't
she's like
trust those.
she lives high class society life. So she's like, ugh, ball
You can't
droids.
trust those low class
No limbed
ball droids.
droids.
Yeah. You.
Only high class droids have legs and arms.
Exactly. You can't even afford legs and arms.
Right.
Gross.
Section 4. On the landing platform, Jace catches up with Doza as Pyre is about to board the command shuttle. Doza dismisses the First Order, and Jace informs him that someone broke into his office. Meanwhile, Kaz searches the office and finds the data pad with the First Order agreement and begins downloading its data while BB-8 keeps watch. As Doza and Ruckland enter the turbo lift, Kaz hides behind the desk and accidentally opens the closet, discovering an Imperial officer's tunic. He hides inside just as the lift door opens, and Doza questions Jace about the intruder. He reports seeing Kaz sneaking in, but Doza doesn't have the patience and makes Ruckland empty the trash instead. Tora interrupts Doza before he opens the closet, telling him that the Aces want to speak about the First Order deal. As they leave, Kaz exits the closet and panics when the lift doors open and finds BB-8. Kaz discovers Doza's old Imperial uniform and realizes that Doza once served in the Empire and is now working with the First Order, which alarms him. Kaz and BB-8 avoid security droids while exiting the lift, and Tora unexpectedly appears, offering to help sneak him out. She guides them to a secret guard-free entrance. The exit turns out to be a trash incinerator, and they dodge laser bolts and heavy machinery while BB-8 navigates the door control panel. He holds the door open long enough for all three to escape. Tora questions Kaz about why he was in Doza's office, and Kaz claims he just wanted to see how the other half lives, and he insists he is not a spy, explaining that he left the New Republic Navy to become a racer. Tora returns to her room, greets Buggles, and is soon joined by Doza, who hugs her and mentions the hover cruise. Alone afterwards, Tora wonders about Kaz's true identity.
Jace Ruckland's a little shit.
Well, did you expect him to be anything other than...
Bootlicking piece of shit? No, I did not expect this.
Also, why does he do this shit in front of the First Order, which is really odd to me because, like, Pyre's really interested. He's like, wait, what's going on? Like, he's kind of a messy gay because he's like...
Take note of the fact that Pyre immediately identifies that Jace Ruckland is a bootlicking piece of shit.
Okay, I figured that was why this was here.
This will be important for later that Pyre has identified
my brain
Jace Ruckland is a little shit.
Yeah, I knew that. I mean, other than like, okay, because plot-wise, it makes no sense for him to do this in front of the First Order. But in terms of the broader story, I can see where this is going to mean something later.
Yep. I'm not going to say what it is, but I think it may be starting to become more obvious what the character arc of this character is going to be.
I'm getting an idea. Like, do we find this out in the first season or no?
Yes.
Okay,
we will find out where he is going as a character in by the end of the first season.
So this is proof that I genuinely don't remember anything past this point because I only know one. In my brain, like my deep recesses of my brain, because I have watched the first season. I know I have. I don't remember anything moving forward except for one detail. There's only one thing, I guess a major plot point, but I don't even know how important that is to the plot. But I remember because it's in the finale. But I don't even know if that's that important right now. So we'll see I'll tell you in the finale once we eventually get to it.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I don't remember anything else. So this is like, I don't know if I just either knew that his character was going in an interesting direction, maybe I subconsciously already know what it is, but I mean, it's pretty obvious, you know.
It's pretty obvious where by this point, after this episode.
Maybe it's because I've seen the season 2 poster.
Okay. Yeah. I told you not to Google that.
I didn't mean to. I think it was just when I was prepping for this season and I was getting posters and things and trying to change our look of our stuff, I inadvertently looked at season 2 media, like poster advertisements and things like that. And I think he's on a lot of them in a certain outfit. And so that's just why okay. So subconsciously I already knew. But it's fine.
Jace Ruckland, Kaz's shitty ex-boyfriend and future annoying little space fascist, leads Doza up to the office, and Kaz is like, shit, I have to hide. So he ducks in, and we finally get the piece of information that explains Doza's character. He was an Imperial captain.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was wondering what the designation was on his jacket.
The trivia guide helpfully provided the information that it is Captain Pips.
Captain. Okay, cool.
So he was the rank of captain in the Imperial military.
So I like to parallel this because like it immediately made me think of Jack Black's character in The Mandalorian, who was also an Imperial officer of some kind and just like fucks off to go marry Lizzo and be a totally nice guy and like run a whole entire planet by himself, where this is kind of the same thing if you think about it. Doza has
Yeah,
fucked off and,
Doza has run off and he has built this Colossus kind of thing that he
mhm,
has going on here far away. He basically running he's mayor of a gas station
man of
town
a
in the
gas
middle of
station.
nowhere. And like that's all that's going on here. And he's gotten as far away from the New Republic as he possibly can. And yes, it is in part because he's former Imperial.
But also, why do you, okay, I maybe you can explain this, and I know it's probably in other media, but you know how like sometimes in movies where you have somebody who's like ex-Nazi or something and they like keep their
Right.
uniform hidden somewhere and it's like just get rid of it? Like why do you still have it?
Visually so that we can have this moment where Kaz stumbles into the
Yeah,
uniform.
but like from a
Literally,
logistics
that's
like
why.
yeah, but like a
No
real
one in real
standpoint,
life would fucking do this.
right?
Like,
Why would you keep
unless
it?
you're
Like
stupid.
yeah,
Like, you burn that shit immediately.
no, yeah, you would never want any. If you're trying to be secretive and be like, I don't want anybody to know I was an Imperial officer, I'm not going to keep it in my fucking closet in my office. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so random.
But so, yeah, it is like he takes the uniform off. He's distancing himself from, but also, yeah, he's kept the uniform so we can
Literally see it.
literally
Now I
just
want
so we can have this moment.
now I want to parallel that with this is unrelated to plot or anything. The fact that Kaz immediately jumps into a closet.
Yep.
Is this not symbolism?
You mean Kazuto Ziono, disaster bisexual, jumping back into the closet to avoid his shitty ex-boyfriend? Is it intentional? No. Is it obvious? Yes. We see what's going on here.
This is, I know they did not do this on purpose. And obviously, he's in the context of the show, he's literally just hiding because
Well,
it's the
we
only place
can't
we have to
avoid the
hide.
fact that he jumped back into the closet to avoid his shitty ex-boyfriend.
I know.
Like, like all disaster bisexual, dated a horribly toxic twink at some point. And that twink is now all over this episode.
Love that.
He's dated a toxic twink, and he's aiming for a woman who is far out of his league. Sonora is around.
Right. A much mature woman, by the way. She's like, and I mean, not in terms of age, but I mean in terms of like emotional
Well, like, yeah,
availability.
she is more emotionally mature than he is.
Yes.
Yes, he is the perfect representation of a disaster bisexual.
Hmm.
And I love that for him. Tora, she does know something is up when she walks in. She clocks that he's in the closet.
Right.
Ruckling clocks it. I don't know if Doza clocks it that he's in the
No,
closet.
because I think he was only going towards the closet because Jace was trying to get in there to be like, look, someone's probably hiding in here.
Yeah,
And
and
then he's
Jace
like,
was going to see the uniform,
the secret, right? And
which
so
is
that
good
closet
writing.
is right. Yeah.
It's actually great writing because it would have been easy for Doza to just stop him by being annoyed, but giving Doza an actual reason
A
to not
literal
want
reason
Jace to
to
look
not
in the
want him.
closet is great character writing because it avoids coincidence. Like,
Right,
it's
because you said
not
that
that
was
he
one of the main
stopped him
problems.
just
Yeah.
yeah, this is a moment where the episode avoided it. It's not just that he stops him because he's annoyed. He specifically has a reason that is clearly communicated in the episode to not want Jace to open the closet.
Right.
And also to not want Tora to open the closet.
Right, because he's like, now he's like, wait, I need to get her out of here all of a sudden. Like, let's go
Right.
talk outside. Let's go do something else away.
Right.
So,
Blurg Fire is a real drink. It is an alcoholic drink. It is served at the Galaxy's Edge Park. It's described on the menu as lemonade, pomegranate juice, and habanero lime.
oh,
In the cookbook in 2019 that gives us a little more detail, the ingredients are, to quote Wikipedia, quote, pomegranate juice, habanero lime syrup, and prepared lemonade. Before serving, a lime is run around the rim of the glass and then dipped in Red Sea salt. So
that
it
sounds like
did
it
first-
should be tequila. I don't know why, but that's what it sounds like.
it did first appear in a short for Resistant before, well, it was first mentioned on a trading card featuring the upcoming stuff. It first appeared in media here in a short for Resistance. So it's one of the many, many, many tie-ins. They now have trash incinerators instead of trash compactors, which is a fun twist.
Modern technology, we love it.
Modern technology marches on. And then we get this scene between Kaz and Tora, which is kind of the emotional climax of the episode. We find out that Doza knows that Kaz is former New Republic.
Right, he already was keeping tabs on him. Yeah.
He was already keeping tabs on him, and Tora was already keeping tabs on her dad. So she knows
Mm,
that there's stuff Kaz isn't telling her. She gives him a chance to tell her to come clean. Nothing she has said has indicated that she wouldn't be supportive if he just told her, but he can't. And this drives a wedge between them and damages their friendship because he brushes it off
right.
and can't tell her. And that's a really interesting emotional climax to the episode that otherwise would have just been like a buddy comedy episode.
Right, because now she immediately goes, by the way, are you a spy? It's
It's
like,
like, what?
what?
No.
No, I
And
couldn't.
that's going to make her suspicious. We see at the end of the episode that even though she's going to cover up for him, she's now suspicious of him.
Right.
And
But
she
in
wants
a
to
way
know.
where she's like, I want to get my information first before I,
Right. It's
make a decision.
16-year-old girl. I want to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've now told us a teenage girl that she can't know something. She will now dedicate herself to finding out that information.
That's right.
Yes. I just wrapped like 3 notes up into one. So that was actually all
Great.
the notes I had on this
Amazing.
episode. This episode is directed by Saul Ruiz, who we have seen fucking so many times before directing Star Wars animation. Written by Stephanie Folsom, who, reminder, has written 2 episodes of the show. She previously wrote The High Tower, and she wrote an episode of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
Nice.
Bradley, what are your final thoughts on this episode?
Final thoughts. It is a simple buddy comedy, but effective. I think that this is a decent episode. I actually kind of enjoy the first bit where like Kaz doesn't even show up until after the main credit rolls, title credit rolls in the beginning, which I don't think has ever happened in the show so far. I think it's always included Kaz in the beginning if I'm misremembering, I'm not sure. Maybe the Sonara episode because of the pirate stuff or I don't remember. But for the most part though, I mean it's Kaz is in it, but he's not the main focus. He's a supporting player here, and I enjoy that because I really like Tora and I want to see more of her. And it's because we don't have a lot of female characters in this show, and so when they do appear, they are strong, and I do like when they come up. They're good characters. Out of the main three that we have so far, I like her. I think she has the most potential so far. I feel like Sonara doesn't have too much potential because I kind of see the writing on the wall where that character arc is going. It's pretty obvious. But Tam is interesting and she might surprise me later on down the road, but she has a very like I feel like neutral, like I'm pretty solid in like her story and everything I like about her. So Tora has the most potential to be something else later on, which I like. So I like her a lot and I hope to see more of her. So
My final thoughts is the meta plot is moving right along. It should be pretty obvious at this point what it is and where it's going. And we're coming up on the halfway point. So we've had a lot of setup for where this is going. And the back half is things are gonna continue to be different for this show going forward. Hey Bradley, what are we talking about next week?
next week we're talking about episode 11, Station Theta Black.
Awesome. This is going to be the mid-season finale.
Hmm.
And because it is the mid-season finale and the timing also works out, this is just a reminder. We are going to pause our Resistance cover after the next episode because Maul Shadow Lord is coming out.
That's right.
And so we are going to record episodes on Maul Shadow Lord. And we're going to cover that show kind of sort of as it's airing. They're dropping 2 episodes a week. We are not going to do 2 episodes a week.
We're not crazy.
That is in fucking sane. So we are not going to do that.
No, we'll just be behind a few episodes as we go, but that's the nature.
That's the nature of the show. And so we're going to talk about Station Theta Black next week. And then we're going to pause. We're going to do Maul Shadow Lord. And we're going to, I think, according to our schedule, come back into Resistance. That is what our schedule
we'll have to take a
currently
look
says.
after. Yeah.
Our schedule currently says we are going to come back into Resistance and finish the back half of the first season. Who fucking knows?
I was gonna say we'll see how our schedule plans out after Mole's
That
over.
is more than 2 weeks out, so we
Yeah.
do not fucking know.
Yeah, you never know. They could drop a no whole nother Tales show on us. They could do all kinds of weird fucking shit. You never know what's gonna happen with Star Wars this time. So who knows? But as of right now, Mall is our only guarantee. So that's what we're gonna promise for now. I think that's all we could promise.
Pluggables. Bradley works on a bunch of reality TV. Do you have anything new, or would you like me to rattle out the list again?
No, I've got ready. Here's my whole speech. I've already got it done. Okay.
Oh,
So
you want to do it this week? You do it this week.
if you like reality television, you can support me because I do work on a lot of reality television, such as shows like Married to Medicine, King's Court, The Circle, and Queen's Court. However, I have a new season of Temptation Island coming out soon, which will be on April 10th, is when the new season airs. So check that out if you want to watch some reality television.
And if you want to listen to me blame Bradley personally for the next season of Temptation Island, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/goldsquadrongaze. $3 a month gets you both extended cuts of this episode where you can watch me frantically Google stuff that I forgot, or extended digressions about VR games, all sorts of insane stuff. But you also get the 15 minutes warm-up where Bradley and I discuss anything and everything that is not Star Wars. If you want to know what else I do, I am a cast member on the Star Wars TTRPG for Light and Dice. That is beginning its 3rd season. Very cool, very exciting. It's off to a great start. And I also write books. I'm currently writing a crime drama series that's called Beach House Studios. You can find that on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, or you can request it digitally through your local library. All right, Bradley. One episode left, and then we get to switch to Maul. How you feeling?
I think it's a change of tone, and I like that.
Okay, yeah, we'll take a little bit of a break, and we'll hop on over to Maul. And until then, we got one more episode of this, so run our city. Thank you for listening to Gold Squadron Gaze. Did Charles fuck something up? Email us at goldsquadrongaze@gmail.com and let us know. You can follow us on BlueSky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Gold Squadron Gaze. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Gold Squadron Gaze, where we post full episodes of this podcast. If you like the podcast, you can also rate us and review us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Please join us next week and every week for another episode of Gold Squadron Gaze. My hot take on Firefly is that people would not like it so much if it had not been canceled. That's my take on Firefly. No, because hear me out. Because these shows, these network TV shows always start good
Yes, and they always end
and
terribly.
get bad.